You shall love God above all things and love thy neighbor as yourself. The second great commandment and the milestone for a project done for the love of God. The dream is to build one of the best children's hospitals in Guatemala and Latin America. One that gathers different services to attend children's health needs, especially the ones living in poverty and extreme poverty, and in doing so, impact the families for a change into a better quality of life.
No es solamente el proyecto de un hospital porque los problemas que hay que solucionar.
This is not just a hospital project because the problems we have to solve are numerous. We are thinking of a whole project to which the hospital stands as a central core, the axis, so to speak. But there are other elements that could help us solve the problem from its root. For example, in education and health education and nutrition, other subjects, the culture, the shyness of people who are afraid of approaching other health mechanisms that are not familiar to them. In the Chihu village in Santa Cruz lives Zoila Pu, a single mother of two, one 7-year-old and another 4 months old. They live with Zoila's father and one of his brothers. 6 persons sleep together in this room of wooden columns and thin blades. This is a place that an aunt let them have, and it has a kitchen, a dining room, and a bedroom all together. It also lacks a bathroom. One of the samples of the reality that many Guatemalan families face day by day. My dream is to live better, not in these conditions. For other families, a sick child adds to the poverty condition. Touring the rural areas, we met Elvira Caal, 35, who actually lives with her husband and 5 children. Their familiar income is 40 quetzales a day whenever the husband finds a job, and 800 quetzales a month salary for the 7 members of the family. This results in food scarce, poor clothing, and education conditions, and the lack of another basic needs. Not all of the children go to school, and when one of them is sick, there is no money for treatment. 7 years ago, Elvira gave birth to 2 twins who died 20 days after birth. One of them passed away in the house and the other one in the hospital. They only told me they died. They didn't tell me how. They speak the Pocomchi language. They don't like attending the hospital for no reason at all.
Hemos encontrado dificultad en la distancia, dificultad en el transporte, dificultad en los recursos.
We have found difficulty in the distance, the transportation, resources. Even after treatment, they have no money to buy medicine prescribed, because the hospital don't always supply them with medicine. For example, painkillers, antibiotics, anti-inflammatories. People buy one or the other, but they rarely buy them all, so the treatment is ineffective.
Nuestro país tiene un alto índice de mortalidad y morbilidad.
Our country has a high rate of child mortality, especially 0 to 5 years old. In Alta Verapaz, this is not an exception. In fact, we have one of the highest rates concerning these ages. That is why we're very committed with this project, because it's a general urgency and one of the biggest regional concerns and problems we have to face all over the country, mostly on the Alta Verapaces, since we occupy one of the highest ranks in children's health problems.
Que tenemos uno de los primeros lugares en esta problemática.
Another case that states the need of specialized medical attention is the story of this 17-year-old young man. Since he was 13, he started losing consciousness and fainting. Now he passes out on a daily basis, and this has left various scars and injuries on his body. I have seizures, I fall, sometimes in the ground and it scratches me. I have constant injuries in my feet, open wounds. But since my dad doesn't have any money to treat me, I don't know what's next. A family of 11 members, the 2 parents, 8 children and grandma.
El problema tiene porque por enfermedad de
He has a problem, a disease. And I don't have any money to cure him. I don't have nothing because we need to buy corn and feed, so we don't have any more money left. That is why I don't take him to the doctor. When someone gets sick in the family, they take him to the local health center, but there is no treatment there for Mario. Because of stories like this and personal experience of having a sick child, the dream of having a hospital specialized in children's was born, and it now is a progress in becoming a reality.
Una de mis hijas muy pequeña, 5 años, un poco después del terremoto, tuvo un problema intestinal.
One of my daughters, only 5 years old, right after the earthquake in Guatemala, was affected by an intestinal problem, really serious. She had to go through surgery, and in those days the hospital conditions because of the earthquake were really rough in Antigua, Guatemala. It opened my eyes to the need of a child's-related hospital. I realized that children require a special hospital, special equipment. And since then, I've been thinking about that need, so I traveled to Alta Verapaz. And here, the problems are more profound, stronger, longer distances, less access to education. So I mentioned the dream, the yearning. I planted the wish, and it harvested a reality.
Como una esperanza, como un sueño en realidad.
When this story was shared in church, an old lady turned the dream into a reality by donating 50 quetzales. That same day, 500 quetzales were gathered. Today, the first blueprints exist of what is expected to be one of the best international reference hospitals to treat different health problems in children, being self-sustainable and allowing social labor and coverage for poor families.
En un inicio, la primera fase del proyecto pretende
The
poder
first phase
cubrir
of the project
lo que
pretends to cover the need of children in the primary branch, which translates to medicine and surgery, basically, and later reach the dream of giving specialized attention. The board of directors of the Christian Association for Love have a vision of uniting the church to the project, awakening the love and compassion of people for the realization of this project that promises to transform and better the lives of Guatemalan families.
Eso es lo que queremos transmitir en esta asociación.
That is what we want to transmit in this association, so that we'd have love and compassion of our people. And that is what truly love is, what God does through us for others. And that is what we really want to do.
40 millones de dólares. Estamos trabajando en lo que le llaman el marco.
We have spoken of numbers around $30 or $40 million, and we are working on what they call the strategic frame. We already have few collaborations. For example, a university provided the original blueprints and design that are very adequate to the ideas we have in mind, and we are working on that and have more accurate data of the cost later. When we look at the reality of the poorest families, we find that it is essential that those of us who have been blessed with jobs and health can give to alleviate those in need. Currently, possible building grounds are being evaluated and the continuous help is needed. In this we know the love that He gave us by giving His life for us. We shall give our lives for our brothers. John 3:16. If you want to help make this dream possible, you can contact and make donations in the central offices of the Christian Association for Love in 4th Avenue, 216, Zone 3, Coban, Alta Verapaz, in the Casa del Monje restaurant. You can also reach 79529726 or visit the website www.acporamor.org.